Now we're going to learn about two-point perspective, adding openings to the sides of the buildings correctly in two-point perspective. So just like in one-point perspective, when we added our openings onto the sides, we started with a line. The same thing is going to happen with two-point perspective. In fact, the first part of it is going to be exactly the same. So I'm going to add a little door over on this side. I'm going to start with a line here, and then I will take the top of it back to my vanishing point on the same side. And the bottom of it is actually going back to the vanishing point, so I don't have to add another line there. And then I will simply mimic the same line that I have here with a parallel line right here. Now the difference in two-point perspective comes when we add openings to the inside of this. So if I wanted to make this door actually look like it was possibly open and the space was open in between it, what I would do is this far corner, I would actually connect back to my opposite side vanishing point, and I would draw a little line in here. Now all of a sudden it looks like I can actually walk in to this space. Okay, now I want you to take notice of where my horizon line is and where the placement of my door is. It is below my horizon line, and so I can see the bottom of the space here. If I was above the horizon line, which I'll show you in a few minutes, when we open a window, make a window, we can actually see the ceiling. So here we're seeing the floor and a wall, and over here we'll see the ceiling and a wall. Okay, so let's add some openings onto this side. Now I'm actually going to make these windows fairly big so that we can see them really well. The top and the bottom are going to go back to my vanishing point like this. Same as with one-point perspective. Oops. Okay, now because I am above my horizon line, instead of me seeing the floor here, I'm going to see the ceiling. So I take the furthest point here and connect it back to my vanishing point. Draw it like that. And now what's happening is I'm seeing the ceiling up here. I'm seeing the ceiling. Add a little bit of shading to that. And I'm seeing the wall. I can't see the floor at all because the floor is really happening somewhere around my horizon line. Now that's a very, very, very basic opening. Let's make it a little bit more complex. So if I wanted to add a door again, but this time I want to add basically kind of like a frame around the door. Oh, I did the wrong one. Sorry about that. Okay, now this is going to get a little bit more complex. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take that same point there, But this time I'm just going to draw a little line. Now notice that I'm still connected back to my vanishing point. Now at this point, what's going to happen is I'm going to take my ending line, slide it over, make sure that it's parallel. My ruler is parallel. And then I've got basically kind of like a frame here. The bottom of this would actually connect back to my vanishing point and come forward like this. Okay. Now, then I've got the window or the door kind of inset like this. In fact, I can draw a little doorknob right here. Okay. Now let's do one above. So imagine that we're drawing basically a windowsill, because the glass doesn't just, you know, stick out right from the edge. There's actually a frame that it's sitting in. Again, because I'm above the horizon line, I'm going to do the same thing. I can only see the top and the side. So from this point, I'm going to take this corner. I'm going to do two things. I'm going to slide my ruler over and go straight down. And then I'm also going to connect that point to my vanishing point and bring it out this way. Okay. And so here I've got the window basically showing here. This is a window sill. It's set in, and then the glass is inside here. So we've got a little bit of space. This is a recessed area from this surface here. All right. So I'm going to show you one other one. Then this one is going to overlap the horizon line. So it gets a little bit more tricky at this point, because we are going to see 3 different viewpoints showing with this window. So here I've drawn my window the same, but what's going to happen that is different with this is, because I'm below and because I'm above the horizon line, there's going to be 2 diagonal lines like this traveling back into space. So from the corner going to the opposite side, I'm going to take my corners back to my vanishing points like this. Try to draw those the same length. Take your ruler, slide it back. This goes up and down. Now, what happens with these is just like we did at the bottom and just like we did at the top. This little corner here and this little corner here are going to go back to the opposite side vanishing point, and we will pull it forward like this. Okay. So when something is overlapping your horizon line, we're going to see the bottom, we're going to see the side, and we're going to see the top of that windowsill. So here's my window right here. There's my windowsills. So these will be the same, but just opposite on the other side. So let's do a couple of examples just real quick. So let's do a door. So I've got my line for my door. Gonna go back to my vanishing point on the same side, straight up and down, just like this. Okay. Now, opposite of this one, what's going to happen is that this corner is going to go to the other side vanishing point. Connect my ruler to that vanishing point and that corner, and this is going to go all the way back. Okay, just like this. Now, Here's the floor, just like this floor right here. Okay. Now, if I wanted to do a little frame around the door, then I would do, oops, sorry. Connect my point back to the other side, but I don't want it to go all the way because I'm trying to show that there is a door frame. Put that corner on that part right there, line those up, bring that forward. Okay, and there I've got like a little door, just like that. Okay, up above it, do the same thing real quick. Okay, this is going to go in the opposite direction, and because it is above my horizon line, I can only see the ceiling and the side, so that looks a little bit strange. Especially the closer I get to my horizon line, the less of an angle this line is going to be right here. Okay, so there's my ceiling up there. And then let's do one more. Okay, and this corner is going to go to the opposite side again. So I'm going to do a window sill, a window frame basically on this. All right, and that comes towards this way. All right, and there I've got my window right here. Okay, so I want you to practice adding openings to 3 boxes. Okay, one above the horizon line, one on the horizon line, and one below. You need to add a door and at least 2 windows to each box.